Seriously, if all this comes back that it came from a psychopath stalker, Stephanie DeSalis, how many times did I go to police and say, can you take a formal statement? And they never did. So in 2006, Stephanie DeSalis was told to never show her face again. Otherwise, myself and my partner, John Cabino, would press charges. She's a stalker. She doesn't know me. She's stalked me. That's the difference. We're not friends. We've never been friends. And I tried to catch her out by popping some photos up on social media to see what she was up to coming back to Sydney. I've told people so many times before, you're an insane idiot if you get your information from social media. An educated person gets their information from reliable sources. Social media is not a reliable source. Anybody knows this, except for dumb dog shit millennials. Dumb dog shit Y generation or Gen Z are just fucking stupid. It's like reliable sources is not social media. We even know that when it comes to reliable sources for news isn't social media. You want reliable sources, you don't get your information from social media. Social media is not a reliable source. Everybody with a brain that is educated knows social media is not a reliable source. You would never get your information from social media. I wouldn't. I didn't even look at it. If I meet someone, I'm not even on their, don't look at their social media. I want nothing to do with social media. It's not a reliable source. This is something that these millennials and Y Gen and Gen Z, they just grab hold of. It's like, that's why these generations are dumb. They're idiots. That's why the world's fucked at the moment. Because they think that it's a reliable source when it's not. It's not a reliable source. Seriously, you're an idiot. So, again, I'm sick of repeating this. So, yes, in late 2004, I'm getting a coffee at the California Cafe on Oxford Street. Okay, I'm talking to this guy, was it Michael Raptis, whatever. Then this thing, Stephanie DeSalis walks in and she knew Michael and Michael introduced me to her. And I'm having a chat and so forth. I'm talking about thoroughbreds that, with mum and so forth. I mean, my family in the racing industry and equestrian industry. We're from Sydney and I was asked what I do for a job and I was a VIP host. This is in 2004. Christ, you can see me at the executive host function with my partner in late 2003 when I was with Joey Mena. There's a photo of me sitting, there's my boyfriend, Joey Mena, my boss, Jackie Phillips, Trish Hoppy and Trish Hoppy's sister was there. Who else was there? So we're at the VIP host and executive host function. You can see me there with my boyfriend. This is back in 2003. I was well and truly been working as a VIP host for a long time before 2004. So I meet Stephanie DeSalis in 2004. Suddenly, so Stephanie DeSalis is someone that just whacks people for a living. She whacks morts for a living. And suddenly she's like, oh, I want to be a VIP host and I'll work with you and we can spend time together. And I'm like, seriously, this is exactly what she was like when I first met her. Like the first meet. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. She's just a bit type person. But I just laughed it off because that's the type of person I used to be in my 20s. Laugh everything off and let it go. I did. Which is the worst thing that I've ever been because I let everything go. Now people are saying, oh, let things go. I'm like, I've done this and it's not a good way to be, letting things go. So anyway, I've made it very clear. So then that was in late 2004. Then, not long after that, they were doing Gay and Greek on Oxford Street. And I went to Gay and Greek and the only female there, I couldn't believe it, that was this Stephanie DeSalis. And she looked like a drug pusher. Seriously, she was on this sofa, with these two guys that looked wiped out, and she looked like she was a drug dealer. Honest to God. She was there, and I'm like thinking, because I remember looking at the situation going, this is weird. I had my sports car parked out the front of the club on Oxford Street, sitting there, and I started chatting up this guy, Greg or something. Anyway, we're leaving, we go back to my place in St. Leonard's at the time, and she's seen me, comes out, and she wanted to come too. I was like, all right. So I went back to my place and I'm roasting capsicums and cooking schnitzel and so forth. Like I don't know if my boss was there, Jackie Phillips. I lived with Jackie at the time. And we're having a good time because that's how I used to be. Even a good friend of mine, Kimberly Sito, said, oh God, Justin, you used to just invite strangers into your place. I'm like, oh, I was in my 20s. She goes, I remember your New Year's Eve party. There was these guys, remember those guys on the street? I'm like, yeah, you invited them up to the party. And I'm there going, do you know? I'm like, no. Just inviting them along because you were so easy going. I'm like, yeah. So complete, and that's why I love Kimberly Sito. She's known me for a long time. Kimberly Sito and Jade Otto. Oh God, I've known Kimberly Sito since 2001. Anyway, she's like, God, yeah, you would just invite complete strangers. And we're like, he doesn't know these people. I'm like, well, it's, it's an event. It's New Year's Eve or it's this or it's Easter or something. And they're like, yeah, but you don't know them. And you invite them into your house. That's how I used to be in my 20s. And that's it. And Kimberly Cedar was great. She's like, oh, God, your New Year's Eve party back in, was it 2012? Just like those people. Because Kimberly goes, I've still got one on my social media. I'm like, you're kidding. Anyway, so yeah. So that, it would go back to, let's pin that. So go back to what I was initially saying. So, so Stephanie did come to my place where I lived since 2004 over on Herbert Street in St. Leonard's, that big apartment building. I was there for a long time. There, loved that place, but I wanted to move back over the east. So when I moved in, the end of 2005, basically, because I wanted to come back over this side, so I did. So I lived on the North Shore for a long time as well, but I wanted to come back over the east side, so I did. And permanently back over this side, January 2006. So yeah. Anyway, that's how that happened. That's the reason why she came over to my place that time. So that's the second time I met Stephanie, was at Gay and Greek. The third time, I run in to get a coffee. I was busy. Go and get a coffee. I always used to go. It was like I would always go, been working in a 24-hour environment. I used to go to all the 24-hour restaurants and cafes. So Cafe Roma, that was in Kellett Street, I used to always go to. There was it Macy's? Was it someone over in Mossman Way? It was 24-hour coffee shop there. Used to do great hot chocolates. So did, it's not there anymore, which was Hernandez Cafe, just down the Coca-Cola sign, Bayswater Road. That place was 24 hours, never closed its doors basically since 1971. Now it's gone. Unfortunately, it was the best Sydney icon, best coffee you could get. That was there, Cafe Hernandez, and then a Californian cafe. It was 24 hours. Used to go there after work and so forth. I used to go to the Golden Century as well. Zay from work, actually Say and Joe. We used to go there after work. Finish at 4 in the morning and then go to the Golden Century and so forth as well. So it was always the 24-hour. I worked in 24-hour industry. I socialised in the 24-hour industry. So anyway, third time I ever met this Stephanie and Salas. So I grab a coffee, walk across the road to Gowins, and that's when I met John Cabino. That was the day. So I didn't know Stephanie before John. It's just because I bumped into someone getting a coffee. That's what I kept saying. It's like, but hang on. Yeah, I ran into her, 3 times before then the third time was the day that I met my long-term partner, John Cabino. And before that, I was dating, what's his name? Alfio Bonanno. Alfie and I used to hang out at Cafe and the Gap. We used to hang out at the Gap a lot. That's where there's a place that I've tried to jump the fence to get to. Oh, don't do that. Jesus Christ. So back when I was in my 20s, there's this place, the fence wasn't there where the Gap is. And there's this place I used to sit at with Alfio Bonanno. So we used to go to Cafe Roma. I'd be drawing, working on artwork. Actually, one of the ones that actually pay for his music industry, this lady took one of my artworks and brought it up and said, could she have it? I'm like, yeah, I signed it, gave it to her. Anyway, so we're at Cafe Roma, then we go to the Gap. And that's what we used to always do, go up to the Gap. The fence wasn't there then. So there's a sandstone spot there that you could sit on right near the edge. It was so nice, listen to waves. I was trying to get to that. I tried to get to it so many times to put the fence there. Don't jump the fence. They're freaking arrest you. I'm telling you now. You better come up with a really good story. And then I was told, it's military ground. You're going to be charged in the military. I'm like, what the fuck? But when I was in my 20s, that fence wasn't there. So you could go right out to where the sandstone might, were. People make up some stories. I'm there going, no, there's a spot here I sit at. I used to sit here with a boyfriend of mine that I was dating who was in the closet, Alfio Bonanno. And they're like, no. I'm like, no, yes, I'm telling you the truth. But you want to go, no. I'm telling you what just happened. Yeah. And that's what happened actually 19th of December 2015. The exact same thing. I'm like, I'm going to my meditation spot where I used to go with Alfio. Anybody who knew me would know that information. Anybody who knew me would know that information. And if you wanted to be a narcissist If you want to be vindictive and narcissistic towards me, you could twist that information to seem really sinister, but it's not. But if you wanted to be an arsehole towards me, that's why I'm putting it out there in public now. People are assholes. That's why you should only ever take information for the person themselves, because in this world, people are assholes. So if you wanted to be very vindictive and narcissistic to me, you could use information on me and twist it to be sinister. Because there's a spot that I used to, and I'll tell you what, I was telling Agnes Rappaport this, and she goes, oh, well, we can't go all the way to Watson's Bay, but why don't we go to Clovelly and chill out there on the rocks where the waves are? I'm like, oh, okay, because I love the sound of the waves. And we did. But I was actually telling her, there's this spot. I said, I go there every time. I'm like, I want some time to myself and just rechannel my energy. She goes, well, I'm like, it's a spot I used to sit out, this sandstone spot I used to sit out with Alfio Bonanno in my 20s. And so people know this information. Now, if you want to be an arsehole to me, you could really twist that to be sinister. Fuckwits have tried to. But I'm too strong of a character to stand back and go, yeah, like, you're lying about me. You're still lying about me. Still standing up, you're going, yep, you're fucking lying about me. So, do I look like a weak character that's going to let you get away with it? I'm not. Anyway, so there's that. So, back what I was saying, 2003, actually, a couple of times I left, 2003 to April 2004. So, August 2003 to April 2004, my boyfriend I was with then was Joey Mena. And then when I left Joey Mena, I'm dating around. There was a couple of guys I was dating. Alfio Bonanno was one of them. Even during that period of time when I first started dating John Cabino. And then I said to Alfio, because we weren't going anywhere, me and Alfio, was nothing serious. But when I met John, I was like, we're really like-minded. We're like-minded. If I'm ever going to have a long-term relationship, it will be with this person, John. And that's exactly what it was. Because I was like, no, he's so much like me. Like, he went to, from Sydney, moved to another area. Like, his mother moved from the city. My mother, it was similar. There was a lot of similar stuff. His sisters have been near my dad's. I was like, there's a lot of similarities. We're both Roman Catholic, which makes them... You wouldn't believe how much that makes a massive big deal in relationships if you're the same religion. I've got to say this. You'd have to be similar religions or similar upbringings of religion because I never got along with my ex-partner, Jonathan Craig, or Giovanni Consalvo, because his family are not Roman Catholic. They're freak Christians, and they're either born-again Christian, Jehovah's Witness, or Latter-day Saints Mormon. I don't get along with them or him, and it's his upbringing. And it's very different to Roman Catholic. But my ex's family, John Cabino, I got along with really well. We're Roman Catholic. So there's behavioural patterns in Roman Catholic, even the test of the cards, the hot-headedness, the anger and the passion and so forth that comes with cultural, and it comes with upbringing, and it comes with everything that is what John and myself was like. So I got it. But then, like I said, I left him because I wanted to be a bachelor and single. So I even said back in 2008, well, if I'm leaving John and there's no reason for me to dump him, even he never forgave me because he's like, but why? What can I do? I was just leaving the relationship, and then there's nothing you can do because I don't want to use the word I didn't lose interest. I just wanted to be single. So there's nothing to fix it when I just want to be single, unfortunately. So I've never been dumped. I've dumped all my boyfriends, and I think what that tells me is that I just like my money and assets too much and want to be single. I had the most amazing relationship, long-term relationship, and then so you could almost classify that as being a marriage. And I look at it and go, well, I've already done that, so I don't need to do that again. It's like my dad. My dad's been married once. He's like, I've been married once to your mother. I don't need to get married again. Type thing. It's like, yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, do you have to repeat things? I've got straight friends that were married and divorced, and get married again and have kids. It's like, wow, you're repeating the last life you had. I don't understand that. I mean, you got married, you had kids, you got a divorce, you got a younger wife. You should be doing something different with your life now. Why you want to sit back and have kids again and repeat your first marriage? I find it insane. I don't understand it. But anyway, it's me saying it's like, no, I've already had that. So going back to what I was initially, this video was for, that freak Stephanie Salas, yeah, we weren't friends. Not friends. So if I have to give a timeline, it was late 2004, which is when I first was introduced to her, not friends. By July 2005, I started to avoid her like a plague, which I did. Mainly because my ex-partner, John, used to bring up a lot about her behaviour. And I was like, oh, look, she's just a crazy fag hag. I'm sure she's harmless. And like, well, not sure. I used to say she's harmless. I wish I never said that now. And John's like, no, she's not, Justin. Stop laughing this off. You can't see her for what she is, but I can. She's got delusional fantasies about you. She's stalking us. You got to avoid her, basically. Like, John was pretty serious. And, yeah, she was. She's a nut job. And so, avoided her from, so only been in late 2004, avoided her from July 2005 to only briefly affiliate, which is the biggest mistake I did, around the week of my sister's wedding in 2006 when, no, it's probably good that I did that because I found out John was saying the truth about her. So everything John warned me about her, she showed, and I was like, fuck, how do I get out of this situation? It was like freaky. She was freaky. She's like, yeah, a nut job. Going, you're not gay, and begging, it's like, no, I'm gay, thanks. When you met me, I was gay. I've been gay my whole life. You're insane. And it was like, creepy. It's like, get out of my car. You fucking psycho freak. Get out of my car. Don't you ever show your face again. Otherwise, John and I will call the police on you. You stalking insane. She was literally stalking people who knew me. She was gathering, phone numbers from people, like family members, keeping in touch. She's stalking people on social media. She was stalking people on social media that were either in photos of me with friends and family of mine, and I'm there going, I don't know her. Anyway, so I thought, okay, had nothing to do with her. I can put the whole timeline, even when she showed up in late 2008, when she showed up at my front door. I was like, fucking freak. But then I never saw her again after that. Like, had nothing social with her since 2006. And she started the same behaviour again since 2015. And I found out that before 2015, she stayed stalking me. She was still stalking me. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. This psycho Stephanie DeSalis stayed stalking me. And police were told. Oh, police have been told so many times since 2015. And you know what their response was? New South Wales Police? Oh, but you know her. So they think because you know someone that's not stalking, I'm like, wait a minute. Just because I met her, I meet people on a daily basis. If I go and sit in a coffee shop, I'm going to meet half a dozen people. So what if they start stalking me? You're going to say the same thing? Oh, but you know them? That's insane. Arrest her. Put a restraining order against her. Put a cease and desist order. She's a fucking psycho. An absolute fucking weirdo of a person who we've never been friends. Here's the timeline. Anyway, and that's that. So if it ever comes back and people go, oh, but Stephanie, I'm like, oh, please, you've lost your compensation battle with me right there. If you say, Stephanie, you owe me 9 years of damages. And you're going to pay it. Whether you people like it or not, you're the ones that caused mistakes and damage in my life. You've cost me assets, belongings, savings, loss of salary. You're going to pay it. Oh, plus the pain and suffering. I'm not backing down. I'm not some weak character of a person that's going to back down from this. You're paying what you've cost me over 9 years. And if it keeps going on, I will keep adding it up. I'm not going to back down. It's that simple. This is something I won't let go. You're the one that chose to harass my life, not the other way around.